The year was 2234 and humanity had spread to the stars, establishing colonies across the Milky Way galaxy. It was a time of great technological progress and exploration, as mankind continued to push the boundaries of what was possible. But on a distant, unassuming planet, a team of scientists was about to make a discovery that would shake the very foundations of human society. The expedition had been organized by the International Space Exploration Agency, a consortium of the world's leading space programs. They had detected peculiar readings coming from the surface of Kepler-16b, a rocky exoplanet orbiting a binary star system over 200 light-years from Earth. Initial scans had revealed the presence of artificial structures, and the agency quickly assembled a team of the brightest minds to investigate further. At the forefront of the mission was Dr. Emily Nakamura, a renowned xenorchaeologist with a reputation for making groundbreaking discoveries. Along with a diverse crew of geologists, linguists, and technicians, she set off aboard the ISEA's most advanced research vessel, determined to unlock the secrets hidden on Kepler-16b. As their craft touched down on the alien surface, the crew could feel the weight of anticipation in the air. They disembarked cautiously, scanned sweeping the rugged landscape for any signs of danger. The artificial structures they had detected from orbit were unmistakable now, towering monoliths of a strange, crystalline material that seemed to shimmer in the dim starlight. Incredible, breathed Dr. Nakamura, her eyes wide with wonder as she took in the sight. We've never encountered anything like this before. These structures are clearly the product of an advanced technological civilization. The team wasted no time in setting up their research camp and beginning the arduous task of exploration and cataloging. Robotic probes were dispatched to map the extent of the ruins, while specialized scanners were used to analyze the mysterious material. Meanwhile, linguists pored over inscriptions found on the structures, desperately trying to decipher the alien language. Progress was slow, but each new discovery only served to deepen the mystery. The architecture and construction techniques were unlike anything humanity had ever encountered, suggesting a level of engineering prowess that far surpassed their own capabilities. And the inscriptions, though still indecipherable, hinted at a complex system of mathematics and philosophy that was truly alien in nature. As the weeks turned into months, the expedition team found themselves drawn deeper and deeper into the enigma of Kepler-16b. They uncovered tantalizing clues about the civilization that had built these structures, but the bigger questions, who were they, where did they come from, and what had become of them, remained stubbornly out of reach. It was during one of the regular video conference calls back to Mission Control that Dr. Nakamura received the news that would change the course of the expedition forever. One of the linguists, a young prodigy named Aisha Malik, had managed to make a breakthrough in translating the inscriptions. The language is incredibly complex, with layers of meaning and symbolism that we're still trying to fully understand, Aisha reported, her voice tinged with excitement. But I believe I've cracked the basic grammatical structure, and the earliest texts seem to be talking about the Cedars, an advanced race that supposedly created humanity and seeded us on our homeworld. A hush fell over the command center as Aisha's words sank in. Dr. Nakamura felt a chill run down her spine, her mind racing with the implications of such a discovery. If what Aisha was saying was true, then everything humanity thought it knew about its own origins was a lie. This is monumental, Dr. Nakamura said, struggling to keep her composure. We need to verify these findings immediately. Have the team double-check the translations and coordinate with the linguists back on Earth to corroborate the evidence. Understood, Doctor, Aisha replied, her expression grave. I can't imagine the kind of impact this is going to have, not just on the scientific community, but on society as a whole. If it's true that we were seeded here by an alien race, then our entire worldview is about to be turned upside down. Dr. Nakamura nodded solemnly. That's exactly what I'm worried about. The ramifications of this discovery could be catastrophic. We need to tread very carefully from this point forward. As the video conference call ended, Dr. Nakamura turned to look out the viewport of the research station, gazing up at the twin suns of Kepler-16 bits. For the first time in her career, she felt a profound sense of unease about the work they were doing. What other secrets might these alien ruins hold? And were humanity truly ready to confront the truth about their origins? Only time would tell. But one thing was certain: the expedition team had stumbled upon a discovery that would change the course of human history forever. The news of the potential alien origins of humanity spread like wildfire through the scientific community, sparking a frenzy of activity as researchers around the world scrambled to verify the findings from Kepler-16 bits. Dr. Nakamura and her team worked tirelessly, reviewing the translation work and cross-checking it against every available linguistic and historical database. As the evidence mounted, it became increasingly clear that Aisha's initial translation was accurate. The inscriptions on the alien ruins told a remarkable story of a highly advanced civilization known as the Seeders who had traveled the stars, seeding various worlds with the building blocks of life. And according to these texts, Earth had been one of their chosen destinations, the human race genetically engineered and nurtured on our home planet. The implications of this discovery were staggering. If true, it meant that humanity's entire history and understanding of our place in the cosmos was fundamentally flawed. We were not the product of a natural evolutionary process, but rather the carefully cultivated creation of an alien race. The ramifications for religion, philosophy, and even our sense of identity as a species were immense. News of the discovery quickly spread beyond the scientific community, igniting a global media firestorm. Religious leaders, politicians, and pundits from all walks of life weighed in, their reactions ranging from outright denial to profound existential crisis. Some saw the revelation as a threat to the very foundations of human civilization, while others hailed it as a momentous step forward in our understanding of our place in the universe. As the debate raged on, the expedition team on Kepler-16 bits found itself at the center of an escalating political maelstrom. Powerful factions, both on Earth and within the colonies, sought to control the flow of information and the narrative surrounding the discovery. Some wished to bury the truth, fearing the social upheaval it would cause, while others saw it as an opportunity to reshape the global order. Dr. Nakamura and her colleagues found themselves constantly fending off requests, demands, and even threats from various interested parties. They were under intense pressure to share their findings, but the team was wary of the potential consequences of revealing such a world-shaking revelation prematurely. We have a responsibility to the truth, but also to our species, Dr. Nakamura told her crew during one tense meeting. If we're not careful, this discovery could tear humanity apart. We need to take the time to fully understand the implications before we go public. Tensions came to a head when a rogue faction of the Earth First movement, a radical anti-globalist group, managed to infiltrate the expedition and steal sensitive data from the research station. Suddenly, the team found themselves in a race against time, desperately trying to regain control of the information and prevent it from being used for destructive purposes. In the end, it was only through the quick thinking and bravery of the entire crew that they were able to thwart the theft and secure the expedition's findings. But the incident had left them shaken, painfully aware of the forces that were aligning against them. As the team continued their work on Kepler-16 bits, they uncovered even more startling revelations about the Seeders and their motivations. The alien inscriptions suggested that humanity had been part of a grand cosmic experiment, one in which the Seeders had sought to observe the development of an intelligent species left to its own devices. The team pored over the data, trying to piece together a coherent picture of this alien civilization and their reasons for seeding life on worlds like Earth. Were they benevolent guardians, attempting to spread the gift of consciousness throughout the galaxy? Or was there a more sinister, manipulative agenda at play? The deeper they delved into the mystery, the more questions arose. And with each new discovery, the expedition team found themselves increasingly torn between their commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and their growing sense of unease about the ramifications of what they were uncovering. One thing was certain: the universe's oldest secret had been laid bare, and humanity would never be the same again. News of the discovery on Kepler 16 bits spread like wildfire, igniting a global media frenzy and sparking intense debates across every facet of human society. Religious leaders, politicians, scientists, and the general public were all grappling with the staggering implications of the revelation that humanity had been seeded on Earth by an advanced alien civilization known as the Seeders. For some, the news was a profound and unsettling challenge to long-held beliefs about the origin of life and humanity's place in the universe. Fundamentalist religious groups denounced the findings as heresy, insisting that the creation story laid out in their sacred texts was the one true account. Governments, fearing social unrest, sought to control the flow of information and suppress public discussion on the matter. Meanwhile, in the scientific community, a flurry of activity ensued as researchers around the world raced to verify the expedition team's discoveries. Archaeologists, linguists, and historians pored over the data, corroborating the translations of the alien inscriptions and piecing together a clearer picture of the Seeders and their motivations. At the center of it all was the team on Kepler 16 bits, led by Dr. Emily Nakamura. As the public scrutiny and political pressure intensified, the expedition found itself navigating an increasingly complex and treacherous landscape. Powerful factions, both on Earth and within the human colonies scattered throughout the solar system, sought to control the narrative and the flow of information. "We're caught in the middle of a war, both for the truth and for the interpretation of that truth," Dr. Nakamura confided to her crew during one tense meeting. "Everyone wants to shape the story to suit their own agenda. The religious zealots, the nationalist movements, the corporate interests. It's a nightmare." The team's efforts to maintain the integrity of their findings and protect the sensitive information they had uncovered were met with increasing resistance. Hackers, spies, and even outright attacks threatened the security of their research station as various groups vied for control of the explosive revelations. In one particularly harrowing incident, a radical anti-technology faction managed to infiltrate the expedition, intent on destroying all evidence of the Seeders' existence. Only through the quick thinking and heroic actions of the crew were they able to thwart the attack and safeguard the expedition's discoveries. As the political and social turmoil continued to escalate, Dr. Nakamura and her team found themselves reevaluating their role and responsibilities. They were acutely aware that the information they held had the power to reshape the course of human history, and they grappled with the ethical dilemma of how and when to reveal their findings. "We have a duty to share the truth, but we also have to consider the consequences," Nakamura said during a tense video conference with Mission Control. "This discovery has the potential to cause mass upheaval, to challenge the very foundations of our civilization. We need to be sure we're ready to handle that kind of impact." The team's determination to uncover the full truth about the Seeders and humanity's origins only deepened in the face of these obstacles. They pressed on with their research, delving deeper into the alien ruins and deciphering more of the inscriptions. With each new revelation, the picture of the Seeders and their motivations became clearer, but also more unsettling. The inscriptions suggested that humanity had been part of a vast, galaxy-spanning experiment, one in which the Seeders had observed the development of intelligent life on various worlds to further their own mysterious agenda. The team grappled with the implications of this, wondering if their species had ever truly been in control of its own destiny. As the expedition's findings continued to trickle out, the global discourse became increasingly polarized. Some hailed the discovery as a triumph of human scientific achievement, a quantum leap in our understanding of our place in the cosmos. Others saw it as a betrayal of everything they held sacred, a fundamental assault on their beliefs and identity. Tensions mounted, with protests, riots, and even outbreaks of violence erupting in various parts of the world. Governments struggled to maintain order, while religious and political factions jockeyed for position, each seeking to shape the narrative to their own advantage. Amid the chaos, Dr. Nakamura and her team found themselves trapped in a delicate balancing act. torn between their commitment to the truth and their concern for the well-being of their species. They knew that the universe's oldest secret had been laid bare, and that the world would never be the same again. As the expedition team on Kepler-16 bits continued their research, they uncovered even more evidence of the Seeders' vast interstellar network. The alien inscriptions spoke of a sprawling civilization that had seeded life across countless worlds. Observing the development of intelligent species as part of a grand cosmic experiment. The implications of this revelation were staggering. If true, it meant that humanity was not alone in the universe, but rather one of many civilizations that had been created and nurtured by the Seeders. The team struggled to wrap their minds around the scale and complexity of this alien culture, their technological and scientific prowess seemingly light years ahead of humanity's own capabilities. It's mind-boggling to think that we've been part of this galactic scale experiment all along, Dr. Nakamura said during a video conference with her colleagues back on Earth. The Seeders must have the ability to manipulate the very building blocks of life, to create sentient species from scratch, and then observe their evolution. It's almost beyond comprehension. As the team delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered clues that the Seeders were not merely passive observers, but actively involved in shaping the trajectory of the civilizations they had seeded. The inscriptions hinted at the Seeders' ability to intervene and guide the development of their creations, subtly nudging them towards certain technological and cultural advancements. It's as if they're playing a game with the fate of entire worlds, remarked Dr. Malik, the linguist who had made the initial breakthrough in translating the alien texts. They're not just watching. They're pulling the strings, determining the outcomes for reasons we can barely begin to understand. The more the team learned, the more uneasy they became. The power and reach of the Seeders was truly staggering, and the thought that humanity's entire history and development had been orchestrated by an alien civilization was deeply unsettling. They were not just confronting the shocking revelation of their own origins, but the realization that they had never been truly in control of their own destiny. As the political and social upheaval on Earth continued to escalate, the expedition team found themselves at the center of a complex web of competing interests. Powerful factions, both on the home planet and within the human colonies scattered across the solar system, sought to gain control of the information and shape the narrative to suit their own agendas. Religious fundamentalists decried the findings as an assault on their belief systems, while nationalist movements saw the Seeders' intervention as a threat to human sovereignty. Corporate interests, meanwhile, eyed the potential technological boons that could come from reverse engineering the Seeders' advanced capabilities. Everyone wants a piece of this, Dr. Nakamura lamented. The truth has become a commodity, a weapon to be wielded against one another. And we're the ones caught in the crossfire, trying to protect the integrity of our work and the well-being of our species. Attempts to steal or sabotage the expedition's research intensified, as various factions vied for control of the sensitive information. The team found themselves constantly on high alert, their security measures pushed to the limit as they fought to maintain the sanctity of their findings. In the midst of this political and social maelstrom, the expedition team continued their painstaking work, driven by an insatiable curiosity to uncover the full truth about the Seeders and their reasons for creating humanity. They pored over the alien inscriptions, analyzing every detail in the hopes of piecing together a more complete picture of this enigmatic civilization. What they discovered only served to deepen the mystery. The Seeders, it seemed, were not merely passive observers, but active participants in the grand experiment of seeding and shaping intelligent life across the galaxy. The team uncovered tantalizing hints about the Seeders' own origins, their motivations, and the nature of their vast interstellar alliance. As the expedition pushed on, the team found themselves grappling with profound questions about the nature of consciousness, free will, and the role of technology in the development of sentient species. Were humanity and the other civilizations created by the Seeders truly autonomous, or were they simply playing out predetermined scripts? And what did the Seeders hope to ultimately achieve through their cosmic experiment? The answers, it seemed, were elusive, hidden within the enigmatic ruins on Kepler 16 bits, and the team knew that the stakes had never been higher, for the truth they uncovered had the power to reshape the very foundations of human society. As the expedition team on Kepler 16 bits continued their meticulous analysis of the alien inscriptions, a startling realization began to take shape. The clues they had uncovered painted a picture of the Seeders' true motivations, and the implications were nothing short of staggering. Through their painstaking research, the team had unearthed evidence that humanity was not the sole focus of the Seeders' cosmic experiment, but rather one of many civilizations that had been seeded and nurtured across the galaxy. The alien texts spoke of a vast, interconnected network of these created species, all part of a grand, overarching plan. It seems the Seeders were not just observing the development of individual civilizations, but studying the interactions and dynamics between them, said Dr. Malik, the linguistic expert on the team. They wanted to see how these species would evolve and adapt when exposed to one another, to understand the underlying patterns and principles that govern the rise and fall of sentient life. The implications of this discovery were profound. If the Seeders had indeed seeded multiple worlds with intelligent life, then it meant that humanity's place in the universe was not unique or special. They were merely one cog in a vast, interconnected system, their destiny intertwined with that of countless other alien civilizations. "We're not the center of the universe," Dr. Nakamura murmured, her brow furrowed in contemplation. "We're not even the sole focus of the Seeders' grand experiment. We're just one small part of a much larger, more complex picture." As the team wrestled with the philosophical and existential ramifications of this revelation, they also grappled with the practical and political consequences. If the truth about the Seeders and their cosmic experiment were to be revealed, it would undoubtedly have a seismic impact on human society, potentially destabilizing the very foundations of civilization. Religious belief systems, national identities, and even the core tenets of human psychology could be called into question. The thought that humanity had been artificially engineered, rather than the product of natural selection, threatened to unravel the very fabric of what it meant to be human. "We're sitting on a powder keg," Dr. Nakamura said during a tense video conference with Mission Control. "If we release this information prematurely, it could lead to social unrest, political upheaval, even the collapse of our species. We have to be incredibly careful about how we proceed." The team knew that they were caught in a delicate balance, torn between their commitment to the pursuit of truth and their sense of responsibility to humanity itself. They had uncovered a revelation that had the power to redefine the human condition, and the weight of that knowledge weighed heavily upon them. As the political and social turmoil on Earth continued to escalate, the expedition team found themselves increasingly isolated, their research station on Kepler 16 bits becoming a veritable fortress against the outside world. Attempts to steal or sabotage their work only intensified, as various factions sought to control the narrative and shape the future of humanity according to their own agendas. "We're the only ones who truly understand the gravity of what we've discovered," Dr. Nakamura said to her crew, her voice tinged with a mixture of determination and trepidation. "That means we have a moral obligation to handle this information with the utmost care and consideration." The team knew that their next steps would be crucial, not just for the future of their own expedition, but for the very fate of humanity itself. They had to weigh the immense value of the truth they had uncovered against the potential for catastrophic upheaval, all while fending off the relentless efforts of those who sought to exploit their findings for their own gain. As they delved deeper into the mystery of the Seeders and their grand experiment, the team found themselves grappling with profound questions about the nature of consciousness, free will, and the role of technology in the development of sentient species. Were humanity and the other civilizations created by the Seeders truly autonomous, or were they simply playing out predetermined scripts? The answers, it seemed, were elusive, hidden within the enigmatic ruins on Kepler 16 bits, and the team knew that the stakes had never been higher, for the truth they uncovered had the power to reshape the very foundations of human society. and perhaps the entire cosmos. As the expedition team on Kepler 16 bits pieced together the full scope of the Seeders' cosmic experiment, they found themselves embroiled in an intense internal debate over the ethics and implications of their discovery. The revelations they had uncovered threatened to upend the very foundations of human civilization, and the weight of that responsibility weighed heavily upon them. If we release this information, it could lead to the collapse of everything we know, Dr. Nakamura said during a tense meeting with her crew. Religious belief systems, national identities, even our most deeply held assumptions about the nature of humanity, all of it could be called into question. The team grappled with the profound existential questions that had been raised by their findings. Were humanity and the other civilizations created by the Seeders truly autonomous, or were they simply playing out predetermined scripts? What did the Seeders hope to ultimately achieve through their grand experiment? And did the fate of all sentient life in the galaxy hang in the balance? We're not just talking about the future of our species here, Dr. Malik chimed in, her brow furrowed with concern. If the Seeders have seeded multiple worlds, then the ramifications of our discovery could reverberate across the entire cosmos. We have to be incredibly careful about how we proceed. As the political and social upheaval on Earth continued to escalate, the expedition team found themselves increasingly isolated and under siege. Powerful factions, both on the home planet and within the human colonies, sought to gain control of the sensitive information they had uncovered, each driven by their own agendas. Religious fundamentalists decried the findings as an assault on their belief systems, while nationalist movements saw the Seeders' intervention as a threat to human sovereignty. Corporate interests, meanwhile, eyed the potential technological boons that could come from reverse engineering the Seeders' advanced capabilities. Everyone wants a piece of this, Dr. Nakamura lamented. The truth has become a commodity, a weapon to be wielded against one another. And we're the ones caught in the crossfire, trying to protect the integrity of our work and the well-being of our species. Attempts to steal or sabotage the expedition's research only intensified, as various factions vied for control of the sensitive information. The team found themselves constantly on high alert, their security measures pushed to the limit as they fought to maintain the sanctity of their findings. In the midst of this political and social maelstrom, the expedition team continued their painstaking work, driven by an insatiable curiosity to uncover the full truth about the Seeders and their reasons for creating humanity. They pored over the alien inscriptions, analyzing every detail in the hopes of piecing together a more complete picture of this enigmatic civilization. As the team delved deeper into the mystery, they uncovered tantalizing hints about the Seeders' own origins, their motivations, and the nature of their vast interstellar alliance. The inscriptions spoke of a civilization that had seeded life across countless worlds, driven by a desire to understand the fundamental principles that govern the rise and fall of sentient species. They're not just observing us, Dr. Nakamura realized, her eyes widening with the implications. They're studying the patterns and dynamics of entire civilizations across multiple planets. We're part of a grand, interconnected experiment, one that could hold the key to the very nature of consciousness and free will. The team knew that the truth they had uncovered had the power to reshape the course of human history, and perhaps even the fate of the entire galaxy. But the question remained, should they reveal their findings to the world, knowing the potentially catastrophic consequences it could have? As the debate raged on, the expedition team found themselves increasingly torn between their commitment to the pursuit of knowledge and their sense of responsibility to their species. They knew that the ramifications of their discovery could be profound, potentially unraveling the very fabric of human society and challenging deeply held beliefs about the nature of existence. We're not just talking about the future of humanity here, Dr. Nakamura said, her voice heavy with the weight of their decision. The Seeders have seeded multiple worlds, which means the fate of countless civilizations could be at stake. We have to be sure we're ready to handle the consequences of what we've uncovered. With the future of their species and the cosmos hanging in the balance, the expedition team on Kepler 16 bits found themselves at a crossroads. torn between the allure of the truth and the fear of the unknown. The path forward was uncertain, but one thing was clear. The universe's oldest secret had been laid bare, and nothing would ever be the same again. After weeks of intense debate and soul-searching, the expedition team on Kepler 16 bits made the fateful decision to reveal the truth about humanity's origins to the world. The weight of their discovery, and the potential ramifications it held for the entire human species, had left them no choice but to confront the truth, no matter how unsettling or destabilizing it might be. We've wrestled with this decision for a long time, but we've come to the conclusion that the truth must be told, Dr. Nakamura said during a live global broadcast from the research station. The findings we've uncovered on Kepler 16 bits have fundamental implications for our understanding of humanity's place in the universe, and we believe the world has a right to know. As the team's revelations were broadcast across human space, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Across the colonies and back on Earth, people were thrust into a state of profound upheaval, their worldviews shattered by the astonishing news that humanity was not the product of natural evolution, but rather the engineered creation of an advanced alien civilization known as the Cedars. Religious leaders denounced the findings as heresy, with some even calling for the expedition team to be silenced or discredited. Nationalist movements saw the Cedars' intervention as a threat to human sovereignty, while others hailed the discovery as a triumph of human scientific achievement, a quantum leap in our understanding of our place in the cosmos. "This is an absolute game-changer," said Dr. Malik, the expedition's linguist, during a press conference. "Everything we thought we knew about our origins, our history, our very identity as a species, it's all been called into question. We're in uncharted territory here, and the ramifications are impossible to fully predict." As the global discourse descended into chaos, the expedition team found themselves at the center of a complex web of competing interests, each faction vying for control of the narrative and the implications of the Cedars' creation of humanity. Governments, corporations, and even rogue actors sought to leverage the sensitive information for their own gain, putting the team's safety and the integrity of their findings in constant jeopardy. We knew this would be a difficult and divisive revelation, but I don't think any of us were prepared for the scale of the upheaval, Dr. Nakamura admitted during a private conversation with her crew. "We're caught in the middle of a war, both for the truth and for the interpretation of that truth." Indeed, as the world grappled with the implications of the Cedars' cosmic experiment, the team on Kepler 16 bits found themselves under increasing pressure to provide answers and guidance. They were besieged by requests for interviews, demands for further information, and even threats from those who sought to silence them. "We're not just scientists anymore," Dr. Nakamura said, her voice tinged with a mixture of weariness and resolve. "We're the caretakers of a revelation that could forever change the course of human history, and we have a responsibility to ensure that the truth is understood and that it's used to benefit humanity, not to tear us apart." As the global upheaval reached a fever pitch, the expedition team continued their work, delving deeper into the mysteries of the Cedars and their motivations. They uncovered tantalizing clues about the nature of the Cedars' vast interstellar alliance and the intricate web of civilizations they had seeded and observed across the galaxy. The more they learned, the more they realized the true scale and complexity of the Cedars' grand experiment. It was not simply about the creation and development of individual species, but rather an intricate tapestry of interconnected civilizations, each playing a role in the Cedars' quest to understand the fundamental principles that govern the rise and fall of sentient life. "We're not just talking about the future of humanity here," Dr. Malik said, her brow furrowed with concern. "The Cedars have seeded multiple worlds, which means the fate of countless civilizations could be at stake. We have to be sure we're ready to handle the consequences of what we've uncovered." As the team grappled with these profound implications, they knew that the path forward was fraught with uncertainty. The world they had once known had been irreversibly altered, and the future of humanity, and perhaps the entire cosmos, hung in the balance. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges and the relentless pressure they faced, the expedition team remained steadfast in their commitment to the truth. They knew that the universe's oldest secret had been laid bare, and that their responsibility was to ensure that the knowledge they had uncovered was used to benefit humanity, and perhaps the entire galactic community. With the weight of the world upon their shoulders, the team on Kepler 16 bits prepared to embark on the next chapter of their journey, one that would test the limits of their courage, their resilience, and their ability to navigate the uncharted waters of a universe that had never before been revealed to humanity. The shockwaves from the expedition team's revelations about humanity's alien origins reverberated across human space, triggering an upheaval of seismic proportions. As the global discourse descended into chaos, people grappled with the fundamental questions that had been raised about the nature of their existence, the validity of their beliefs, and the very essence of what it meant to be human. Religious institutions found their doctrines challenged, with some fundamentalist groups lashing out in defiance, while others sought to reconcile the new information with their spiritual teachings. Nationalist movements saw the Cedars' intervention as a threat to human sovereignty, rallying supporters to resist what they perceived as an alien usurpation of humanity's rightful place in the cosmos. Meanwhile, corporate interests eyed the potential technological and scientific booms that could be gained from reverse engineering the Cedars' advanced capabilities. They jockeyed for control of the sensitive information, hoping to leverage it for their own financial and strategic gain, regardless of the broader societal implications. "We're caught in the middle of a maelstrom," Dr. Nakamura lamented during a private conversation with her crew. "Everyone wants a piece of this revelation, and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. We have a responsibility to ensure that the truth is used to benefit humanity, not to tear us apart." As the political and social turmoil escalated, the expedition team on Kepler 16 bits found themselves under immense pressure. They were besieged by requests for interviews, demands for further information, and even threats from those who sought to silence them. The weight of their discovery, and the potential ramifications it held for the entire human species, was a constant source of anguish and concern. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges they faced, the team remained steadfast in their commitment to the truth. They knew that the universe's oldest secret had been laid bare, and that their responsibility was to ensure that the knowledge they had uncovered was used to benefit humanity, and perhaps the entire galactic community. "We've come too far to turn back now," Dr. Nakamura said, her voice resolute. "The world deserves to know the truth about our origins, even if it means upending everything we thought we knew about ourselves. It's a risk we have to take, for the sake of our future and the future of all sentient life in the cosmos." As the team continued their work, delving deeper into the mysteries of the Cedars and their motivations, they uncovered even more startling revelations. The inscriptions they had deciphered hinted at a vast, interconnected network of civilizations, all part of the Cedars' grand experiment to understand the fundamental principles that govern the rise and fall of sentient species. "It's not just about us," Dr. Malik said, her eyes shining with a mixture of awe and trepidation. "The Cedars have seeded multiple worlds, all part of a grand cosmic tapestry. Our fate is intertwined with countless other civilizations, and the consequences of our actions could reverberate across the entire galaxy." As the team grappled with these profound implications, they knew that the path forward was fraught with uncertainty. The world they had once known had been irreversibly altered, and the future of humanity, and perhaps the entire cosmos, hung in the balance. Yet, despite the overwhelming challenges and the relentless pressure they faced, the expedition team remained steadfast in their conviction. They had a responsibility to ensure that the truth they had uncovered was used to benefit humanity, and perhaps the entire galactic community. "We're not just scientists anymore," Dr. Nakamura said, her voice tinged with a mixture of weariness and resolve. "We're the caretakers of a revelation that could forever change the course of human history, and we have a duty to guide our species through this transition, to help them navigate the uncharted waters of a universe that has never before been revealed to us." With the weight of the world upon their shoulders, the team on Kepler 16 bits prepared to embark on the next chapter of their journey, one that would test the limits of their courage, their resilience, and their ability to navigate the complex web of political, social, and philosophical challenges that lay ahead. As they gazed out at the twin suns of Kepler 16 bits, the members of the expedition team knew that they were standing at a pivotal moment in human history. The universe's oldest secret had been laid bare, and the fate of their species, and perhaps the entire cosmos, now rested in their hands. With a deep breath, they turned their attention back to the task at hand, determined to uncover the full truth about the Cedars and their grand experiment, and to use that knowledge to forge a new path forward for humanity, one that would redefine their place in the universe, and perhaps the very nature of existence itself.